Playing a bowed instrument is hard, really hard. But it can be a little easier if you follow my list of 20 things to avoid when practicing violin, viola, cello, or bass. In no particular order, here they are. Number 1, holding the bow too tight. Come on, what are you doing to yourself? You are barely supposed to hold on to that bow. Check that bow grip, make sure your thumb is bent, your fingers are just wrapped around the other side, you have a little space, and you are just guiding the bow along the string. If your bow is bouncing, it's because you're too tight. Number 2, off-balance stance. If you stand like this, it's wrong. This, wrong. This, wrong. This, wrong. The only way you should be standing if you're a violin or viola is with your feet shoulder length apart or with your left foot just a little bit in front of the other. You need to have balance to play. Number 3, instrument moves around too much while practicing. Now, I know you think you're being expressive, but knock it off. It's hard enough to keep good traction between the bow and the string. Why would you make it harder for yourself? Number 4, you don't use a metronome. Do you want your music to sound like this? Or do you want your music to sound like this?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think we know what the right answer is.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Number 5, avoid a straight pinky on your bow hold, violins and violas. Relax your hand, keep your right finger curved, and it will keep your hand from tensing up. I guarantee it. Number 6, breathe before playing. Not only does it help us stay relaxed, but it establishes tempo. Take a breath in the tempo you are about to play, always. Number 7, use the entire bow. I see too many students play only at the middle to tip of your bow. Look how much bow you're wasting. Get all the way back to your hand and pull a huge sound. Number 8, the instrument is too far down on your left hand. The neck of the instrument should rest right in that little bump where your first finger connects to your hand. This helps us hold the instrument without tension. It gives our fingers space to curve and play with the tips, and it also helps us with shifting. Number 9, no flexibility in your wrist. Your arm is a pendulum, and if your wrist is not bending, it's going to pull your bow crooked. Do a long down bow, out with your wrist, and lead with your wrist back. It also helps with fast notes. Number 10, don't hold your breath while playing. It doesn't go 1, 2, 3. Number 11, avoid using too much bow on shorter notes. You want to sound out of control like this? Or you want to sound like you're in control like this? The only difference is the amount of bow I'm using. Number 12, keep your left wrist straight. Watch what happens when I bend my wrist. It pulls my fingers back, making all my notes harder to play. Keep your wrist straight. Number 13, staring at your left hand too much. What are you trying to do? See if the notes are in tune? You got to use your ears. You got to know what it feels like to play in tune. Also, as a violin violist, it can give you neck problems. Number 14, practices by playing the same song over and over and over and over and over and over. Wonder why you're not getting better? Try singling out just a measure or two. Get it clean, and then go on. That is what we call practice. Number 15, remember to use rosin. Does your tone sound like this? We'll try putting some rosin on your bow. Start by putting it at the frog. Go down to the tip. Back and forth a couple times. Now your tone sounds like this. Number 16, doesn't use a music stand or doesn't use a music stand properly. Is your music down here? Well, I can tell you, your bow's probably down there too. Raise your music stand up so it is at eye level, and your instrument should be parallel with the floor. Number 17 is for the cellos and basses. Don't move your bow too fast. Those strings are thick and you need to get them vibrating. Try a nice slow bow the lower you go on your instrument. Number 18, use dynamics. Have you ever heard someone read like this before? That's what you're doing, only musically. When the notes go higher, play a little louder. When the notes go lower, play a little softer. We call this phrasing. It really adds a lot of life to your playing. Number 19, keep your shoulders down. It builds a lot of tension to raise your shoulder and play. And if you're a violin or viola, I understand why you might think you need to do it. You might not have enough height on your chin rest or your shoulder rest, but your shoulder should not compensate that space for you. Keep your shoulders down. Number 20, avoid practicing tension into your playing. You know what I'm talking about. You play a little bit, you get a little tense. You play a little more, you get more tense. You play a lot, you get really tense. Next thing you know, every time you play, you're tense. Approach practice relaxed. Remember to breathe, keep your shoulders down, relax your right hand, think about how you're standing, think about how you're holding your instrument. And if you approach practice relaxed every time, you'll always play relaxed. I hope you have a good week of practice. Don't forget to use a metronome. And if you like this video, hit subscribe. More videos to come. See you next time.